Hey, what's going on, guys? It's John, and I want to tell you about my new Instagram TV series, Collecting Dust. Some of you may have heard of my fabled collection room, full of all sorts of useless crap. So now I've decided to take you behind that door. Each week I'm going to take a couple pieces of my collection, be it a toy, a piece of movie memorabilia, or even a Blu-ray, and I'll tell you the story of how it came to be in my possession. Tune in every Wednesday on Instagram at The Nothing Pod or on Facebook at The Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important.
You're listening to The Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, where a group of nobodies speak to an actual somebody. And now your hosts, John and Frank.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm John.
I'm Frank.
And you're listening to The Nothing Podcast
With Nobody Important.
And I gotta tell you, Frank.
Yeah.
This week, our guest is essential. Maybe not deemed so by the city.
Yeah, but
she's
deemed
essential.
so by the hair on my head.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's suffering right now. They're all sitting home with their hair grown out. Their roots are grown out. I mean, you know, on levels of suffering as far as that goes, I think everybody should calm down a little. But people are complaining about it.
Oh, yeah.
So we thought we'd bring in someone who we know very well, but we didn't know that much about what she did. And so we brought in our friend, Nicola, who is a hairdresser.
And what a gem she is.
Oh, absolutely. She taught us so many things. I was surprised by the amount of things we learned. You think you know. That's kind of what the idea here is, right? I mean, we always like to get in these people who you think you know what they do, and then when they start to talk about it, you're learning like, oh, I had no idea that all of this was in there.
Totally. How many times during this episode did we look at each other with our mouths open and go, what is she saying right now?
Oh, absolutely.
Literally in the first 5 minutes, I think, right? I was like, I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. It's crazy.
No.
Yeah.
And we talk, all about licenses, and I don't want to give it away, but like so many crazy things. And then we started talking about the sizes of our heads, and that was weird. So let's just get right into it.
All right. Put on your plastic smocks.
Sharpen your shears.
Wonder what's in that glass jar of blue liquid.
Yeah, and get out your lip dick or whatever it is that she talks about at the end. I don't know what it is.
Stip dick.
Stip dick. Sure.
Oh, God.
Get out your stip dick and welcome this week's guest.
I'm Nicola DePiero-Nellen. I'm a hairdresser.
Welcome, Nicola.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Nicola, we wanted to bring you in because ultimately we're all feeling a little shaggy these days.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Looking shaggy.
Nicola, John always jokes, but it's not so much a joke, that what he's dying to get is like an adult film star as a guest on our podcast, which is cool with me. But really, I'm the most tempted now than I've ever been, looking dead into the eyes of a hairdresser.
There you go.
I need you so bad, baby.
I know. This is what I'm saying. It's like everyone in this, Facebook, like everyone's posting this and that, and it's always like, can anyone hook anyone up with a haircut? It's like underground these days.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's prohibition.
Don't cough on me, but can anyone hook me up with a fade? No.
So I have to start off by asking you.
Yes.
Be completely honest with me. I will not judge you.
Oh, boy.
Since this started,
Yes.
have you cut anyone's hair for them?
Only Andy.
Oh.
And Shay. Only
Okay.
in my own house.
People
Only
who live in your house doesn't count.
Okay, so no. Not a soul.
Wow.
Not a soul.
You're a hero.
Taking social distance.
I was lucky enough to see Shay's haircut, and it looks beautiful.
She's cute. She's been begging for a good haircut. I said, okay, well, here we go.
Good
Now's
person
the
to
time.
beg. You're a good person to
Now's
beg for
the
that.
time. That's right.
Do you
That's
miss
right.
doing it?
Yes, actually, I do. I'm not that person typically. I'm usually like, thank God, I have no one bugging me. I have no hair to do this week. I'm dying to do hair.
Your
Yes.
scissor fingers are shaking?
I'm itching. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, do you just work out your fingers at home and you just snip when you're sitting by yourself?
I do.
No,
Very good.
she has that like Muscle Beach, the thing you grip with your hand with the black handles and then the spring at the top.
Yeah. I was thinking of a shake weight. I don't know why. That's so fancy.
I guess. I guess.
So, Nicola,
Yes, my
you
dear.
are a hairdresser.
I am.
Is that how you would classify yourself, or did I just classify you as that? Are you a stylist?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Being raised by a hairdresser, I also tend to say hairdresser, growing up in a salon, all this, and everyone goes, "Oh, she's a stylist. She's a I don't know. one and the same, honestly.
But you're not a barber.
I can barber. I do not bill myself as a barber.
Hold on. You just used that word as a verb.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing?
Yes, I can do barbering. I can barber. It is also.
That's like buttle, like a buttle, like a butler buttles, a barber
Yeah,
barbers.
right, exactly.
A barber barbers?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the name of this episode.
A
The
barber
Hairdresser, a barber barbers.
I love
That's
it.
it. That's it.
Yes.
So, what besides men's hair, what's the difference between a stylist and a barber?
Well, I think these days just their licensing is different. They're able to do like shaving and different things that were sort of
Stop talking.
What?
Licensing?
Me and John just made the same face. Licensing for shaving?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I have what I have as a hairdresser is a general cosmetology license. So I'm allowed to. I could legally do nails, give a facial, do hair, and do barbering. But if you get a specific barbering license, you're allowed to do more. If you go to barbering school, if you get a barbering license, you can do more in the way of like men's care, beards and stuff. Yeah.
So what you're saying though, right now, everybody's at home cutting their own significant other's hair. We could get the police on them because that's unlicensed barbering.
Yeah.
They can get.
Absolutely not. No one's paying. You only get in trouble if someone's paying for it.
But Nicola, who's checking up on this?
These days, nobody.
Okay, but
barber
in the
police.
old days, a month
No.
ago.
In and out of salons, the state of New York will come in sometimes.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's why you have to have your license up, right? All the time.
Correct.
Wait a
Correct.
minute.
You're
Wait a
supposed to have
minute.
your license displayed at all times. Yes,
So
technically.
is this like college? Like you get your degree, but then you go for a few more credits, and you could use a straight razor to shave a neck?
I actually don't know the correct answer to that. If you'd have to do a full barbering course, or if I could just be like, hey, can I be licensed to use a razor?
Right.
So what can't you do?
Oh, Frankie, I don't know. I'd have to really look into it. I'd have to really these days look into what the actual laws are.
So there's nothing you could think of that you'd be like, I can't do it. If they come in here and they catch me doing it, I'm out.
Yeah, right. I don't know. The new rules too. The changes all the time. Again, our licensing is by the state of New York, and it changes consistently. And I couldn't tell you right now that technically what I'm allowed to do or have in a regular salon versus a barber shop. I'd have to do my research. I'd have to to really do my research.
Well, my barber shop has a cooler with beers in it. Is that a part of the licensing?
Mine has a bar.
Yeah?
What?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
I go over here to the old Italian guys, and they have a little
Nice.
aperitif. They have all these little.
Well,
Nice.
Yeah.
Done. No, they are allowed to have that if you are not being charged for it.
Wow.
Wow. I've never taken it.
Oh, do it. Do it.
That's
Get
so
a whole
fun.
spa experience. Get your cocktail. Get your hair did.
Okay, I
So-
just looked it up. I'm on the state website. This is
Oh,
real.
good.
Barber. Here's a description of a barber. Nicola, tell us if you do this. The practice of barbering includes the performance of the following practices upon the head of a human being. Oh my God.
Really
This is
specific.
the mother load. Okay, here
Because
we
you
go.
need probably a different license to barber a dog.
Or to Barbara
Dog grooming,
Streisand.
whole different ball game.
Okay,
Right.
here's what barbers can do. This is all they can do. Shave or trim the beard or cut the hair of humans. This is absurd that we care this much. Giving facial or scalp massage with oils, creams, lotions, or other preparations, either by hand or mechanical appliances. Singeing. What is singeing?
Good question.
Well, they could do it. Shampooing, arranging, dressing, dyeing the hair, or applying hair tonic. Antiseptics, powders, oils, clays, lotions to the scalp, face, or neck.
There you go.
That's
Specific.
ridiculous to me.
And that says, well, here's also, do we know, gentlemen, since we're talking about barbering, do you know why barber poles are red and white?
I do. Tell Frank.
Wait,
does
this have to do with Christ, or is that a candy cane?
That's a candy cane.
Oh, okay. But is it blood?
I love the barber pole thing.
Oh,
I think
no.
it's
Is it
great.
dentist and...
No.
Okay.
No. They were allowed to also do like bloodletting and leeching back in the day.
Yeah. Felt under the same license.
Yep. If you were a barber, you could go to your barber and be like, hey, also, I've got this issue. We need to do a little bloodletting in my foot. And they could
Yeah.
do that all.
And so you knew what day it was, like what they were doing there on that day.
Based on, yep.
the color of what was outside. So if it was just white, something like if it was just white, they were just cutting hair. If it was white and red, it was because it was bloody, and they were, and that's a tradition that's stayed, and it's the barber pole, white and red.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a weird crossover of professions, right?
It is very strange.
I imagine there was a lot of that back then.
Yeah.
That would be like the lady at the nail salon also does wisdom teeth extractions. I'd be like, okay, I guess.
Right, absolutely.
Why not? I'm here. I'm here.
I'd like to bring up something, Frank, if you don't mind. If we can get some sort of video version of this. We're talking about barbering right now. And we actually, just before this, we're comparing Frank to a certain famous barber that we know.
Absolutely right.
Frank,
the demon barber of Fleet Street.
Can you present us with said demon barber look, please?
All right, so this is my hair. Usually it's a lot more kept, but it's getting very long, right? So
yes.
This is my hair right now. But if I were to sort of, and I do actually have a real gray patch on the side. It's not dyed, as people ask.
Nope.
So I'm going to now show you what Sweeney Todd's hair looks like in the Johnny Depp Tim Burton version. It looks exactly like this. Ready?
Here we go.
I'm not
Sweeney
proud
Todd.
of it. I'm not proud of this, by the way.
Phenomenal.
That's
Yes.
actually that's the Sweeney Todd hair, right?
It is.
Look at that.
Yes.
Swing that razor wide, Sweeney.
There it is.
I love it.
I need a haircut.
And men would kill for that head of hair.
Yeah,
no, I'm happy
would.
with it.
Ask John.
I would kill for that head of hair. Danielle's trying to be you, Frank. She found literally one strand of gray hair, and she refuses to take it out because she's like, "Oh, it adds distinction." She didn't say
I don't
that,
even
but
care.
she likes it. She's proud of it.
I'm waiting
What's
for the
funny
patch.
is if my hair was my natural in its natural state, I too would have my white gray section right in the front like Frankie's.
Really?
Wow.
It would be the same way. It's right here. Yeah?
Danielle wants that. Like I said, I said she said it adds distinction.
So I
That's
want
what I
that.
said.
I want that because I want to be able to dye it whatever color I want it to be dyed. Because I don't.
Good luck, because your mom's still not all white.
No, her mom has the patch. Her mom
No, I
has
know,
a
but
nice
I'll have the patch and I'll just put a color. Because I can't dye my hair otherwise.
You got quite a few years, girlfriend.
Danielle has already prepared me. Before we got married, Danielle told me that she is 100% certainly going to be that old woman with bright pink hair. She's told me that.
Oh,
well,
I can see
what
that.
you were marrying into.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
And I'm going to have the awesome glasses like I still do now.
Yeah.
You're looking like Frenchie out here. Get out of here.
Ready.
Pink hair.
I'm ready.
John.
I hate to say this, wasn't Frenchie a beauty school dropout?
She was. So you didn't drop out. Let's go back to the beginning.
I did not.
So how did you know that your mom is a hairstylist as well?
Yeah. Yes.
So you have daughters and a son.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they're going to want to be hairstylists?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
They don't have to be.
No. I won't go down the road of like how my mom essentially begged me not to be a hairdresser, not to pursue that. And, it was kind of inevitable, but I don't know if anybody has a particular aptitude for it. Sure. Go ahead. Why not?
I don't know. Whenever I'm at my barber, and I'm going to tell you this is the truth. Whenever I'm at my barber and he's doing it, right? Yeah. He tells me the stories about when he was going to school and he had to do it with like shave the balloon and all that stuff.
Ooh, wow.
And when I'm home, I'm particularly good. I've become good at shaping my beard and I shave my own head. I never nick anything.
Impressive.
And I think to myself, I might be good at this. But does that mean that I'm going to go become a barber? I guess not. I'm afraid. The straight razor scares me.
I feel like you've passed that point in your life, John. I feel like we've established maybe that,
That
I don't
I'm not a barber?
Seeing you go back to school to
Well, John, I would support you if you wanted to be.
If I went to went to cosmetology school,
I'm good for it.
if I went to go become a cosmonaut,
Okay, true story. I know someone who a man who went to beauty school because his wife didn't want to have to pay to get her hair done for the rest of her life.
Wow, it seems a lot more expensive that way.
It would be great. John wants me to have the funkiest haircuts all the time. So if he went to school for it.
Maybe I take it back then, John. Maybe this is your calling. And you just...
I know what I'm doing when it comes to hair. I think I do.
He does.
You know what?
Yeah? You
I
should
gotta
have
get
a
my
place called
license.
The Bold Barber. That could be your place.
Yes. That's
No, he'd
right.
be like the singing barber. He would just
Right,
start a
right.
Okay.
right?
But being bald and being a barber is like being sober and being a bartender, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
And a lot more common than you'd imagine.
Yeah, right.
Nicola, let me ask you about this. What's the testing like to get your license?
Let's see. I had my state boards in.
The boards?
Boards?
Yes, state board testing.
That's awesome.
Testing. Written test and then practical test. And mine was probably in 2004, 2005. And it was the same test that my mom took in 1966.
What was it like? Do a beehive?
Yeah, no, horrible, crazy things that you will never do in real
Like a
life.
perm.
Yeah, perm.
On a person?
Wait. Finger waves. Something called a state
Finger
board.
waves.
Like the 1940s.
Yeah, of course.
Something called a state board set that I will never ever use. And I am convinced that this is why. Now I'm talking a little smack, that there are so many maybe not great hairdressers that are licensed, working. You don't need to know how to do hair well to pass your state boards.
Wow.
So you can be licensed and unfortunately not be all that great.
So is there like a lady who works there who's always just sitting there and she gets her hair done like 40 times a day and she's miserable?
Her hair's
Like who
awful. Her hair's just
who
like
are you doing it
wiry.
on? Yeah.
So you're on just mannequins for a while. And then you get put out onto the floor, and once you're on the floor, you have a full operating salon in most beauty schools. You can go into a beauty school and get your hair done. You can go into a beauty school and get your hair colored, cut, styled.
For free?
No, but for seriously discounted prices.
But
not-
let me ask you this. It
Yes.
can't be, to be a barber for men,
Yeah.
can't be the same process. I know so many Goombas who I went to high school with and just know how to do a fade and opened up barbershops that are way too lavish, 8,000 chairs, nobody's ever in there. How could they have gone to get their license at beauty school? It's not possible.
Yeah, I mean, it is possible that they have learned and happen to be good at it and spent the money to get all the tools under the sun and got a business license, and maybe you're, just kind of learn from someone and they're doing it that way. It's possible.
Right.
But they had to get the license.
I mean, says
Well,
who?
right.
Says who?
But men don't need to. But to be a barber for men, you don't necessarily need to know how to color and like
No.
all the like.
Nope.
It's a way
Nope,
simpler
you do not have
move
to have
set,
a full
isn't it?
cosmetology license. You do not. Nope, you can do. And again, this is why I actually am unsure, like how long the barbering course is and how those schools vary, because it is something different. It's probably not as long. You definitely don't have to learn as much. If you're not getting a full cosmetology license.
Wow.
So
Now you've made me interested.
yeah, no, but is it?
Find all the things.
Is it? Oh, we know someone. I'm not going to say any names in case it's illegal. Who has a chair in their house? It's not you. Who has a chair in their house?
It's not.
And has friends come over and just does it for them. Is
Okay.
that legal or illegal? Does this person have to have their license up framed on the wall in their house?
Well, that depends. If you're
Are
running
they
it
charging?
yeah, exactly. If you're running it as a business and you're charging, of course, you absolutely do. Of course. Is that probably happening all the time and all over? Of course. No one's really going to know about it unless someone tries to turn you in, I guess.
It's like prohibition in a way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's exciting. It's more exciting than I thought it was, huh?
The underworld of like
The dark underworld. You just slipping each other 20s, pulling out scissors.
got some highlights in the back. It's all right.
Do you have
It smells like hairspray when you walk in.
Yeah. Do you have a preference of scissors? Is there like a club, like men who love guns? Like they know what the good guns are? Do you know, like you get like a scissors magazine and you're like, oh, the new ones are out?
You definitely can. There's specific brands and companies that I favor, but I'm less so about that. I like a very specific style. I like a very specific weight. They go by a certain amount of inches, and they're just like you get your preference over the years.
Shout it out though. Well, what do you like? What's the brand? Like, what should we?
Well, I like the newer models of the crickets that are about, I'd say, 5.5 inches, and I tend to go for things that feel a little heavy and a little less. I don't do anything fancy. I don't like a finger guard. I don't whatever. Not that this is.
All
It's
right.
interesting.
Not
This is what
any-
you're
No,
here
we're
for.
fascinated.
This is what you're here for.
I mean, John, we know about 5.5 crickets.
Yeah, of course. I've eaten
definitely.
at least 5.5. No, but like if I went into your salon in the middle of the night and I swapped out your scissors, you would know.
Of course, I would know.
See, that's fascinating to me. This is what the show's about, everybody. This is what we want to know. This is you sit there
How
and you
about
go,
I
this
can
isn't
have-
interesting. It is.
I can have an identical comb as someone. I mean, identical, and I know it's not mine. It
Really?
could get swapped out with someone next to me, and I know it's not mine.
Wow.
Wow. That's
You're
intense.
territorial. I mean, they're your tools. That's it.
That's right. These are my tools. That's right.
So you knew that you, without getting into, unless you want to, how or why you ended up doing this.
Right.
Like there has to be a love for it that came in at some point. Right?
Absolutely. I don't think, and what's funny is I don't think that I knew that I loved doing hair until I started doing it. And once I started doing it, I came to love it. I didn't grow up loving it. It was what it was. It was something I knew. I was familiar with it. So that, but I didn't love it until I started doing it professionally.
Even when you were in beauty school.
I hated beauty school. Hated it. Hated it. Couldn't wait to get, and I couldn't wait to be done and be out and be in a real salon. I remember I got a few teachers pretty frustrated because they would raise their hand. I was going backwards. I would raise my hand every question and kind of always go, okay, but in real life. I would always start with, okay, but in a real salon. I don't think that was that didn't really bode well for me, that I was constantly questioning, like, well, okay, but when I'm out of this scenario, I didn't love it.
That's so
Nicole,
interesting.
what was the worst haircut you ever gave?
I don't know. The worst, you'd have to probably go poll my clients and ask them that. I don't know.
But did you ever do it? Did you ever do it and go,
Yeah, I mean, I had to say, like, nothing irreparable. Nothing's jumping to mind. Like,
Oh,
I've had worse haircuts. Like, I've done worse things to myself than I've done to other people.
But are you like a tattoo artist where it's like if you come in and you say, I want this, and you know that that's not a good idea, are you allowed to go, no, I'm not going to do that? That's like tattoo artists won't do that. They won't tattoo your face or something. Do you?
I do that a lot. I will tell you off the bat, there are things that someone's requesting something and I will not do it. And I'll suggest a few other things and see if we can, find
But
a happy
if they pressure
medium.
you'll end up doing it, even though you don't agree with it.
Not with a haircut, yeah. Not with anything more permanent, not with anything chemical. If I really am not comfortable with something that they're requesting when it comes to like a chemical change, I won't do it. You can go somewhere else.
like, what do you mean a chemical change? What does that mean?
Color, highlights, so anything I can't undo, anything that's not going to grow out, anything that's going to do, permanent damage or something worse, honestly.
Right. But that means that you have you have some level of moral responsibility.
Absolutely. You're going to walk out there, and for the next however many months, that's my name. You're walking around going, oh yeah, I went to Nicole and she did this and I love it. Or I went to Nicole and she totally, screwed it up.
But if they're paying, right, you could just take it and go.
There are a lot of people who do that. There are a lot of people who do that. They want to, you're in the chair, they're going to bang you over the head for the maximum amount of stuff they can do to you. And they don't care if you ever come back because they got, the couple $100 out of you anyway. So they got what you're in the chair, they bang you over the head for whatever it may be. And they don't care if you never come back again.
Right.
How come when I get a haircut, I think my haircut's $20. My haircut's like $20, but like I know like my wife's haircuts could be like hundreds of dollars. Why?
I don't know. I still have no idea where this came from. This sort of, I find barbering and sometimes men's haircuts with the exception of the styling and the blowout, sometimes take me longer. There's sometimes more work than a woman who's coming in. I'm taking 2 inches off the bottom and blowing out her hair. That's significantly easier. I don't know where the, sort of monetary disparity comes into play. I couldn't tell you, but it's there.
And I think the other thing that's like crazy to me, and this is something we talked about a lot, Samantha and I, like when we're getting married and whatever, but like how expensive it is if someone's getting married to do that hair.
Oh yeah,
for the occasion. Why? It's the same thing.
Well, it depends. If you're booking someone privately and they're coming to you, you're taking them away from their day of work.
Right. Sure.
So that tends to factor in. If they're traveling and coming to you, that factors in. They're also going to do your hair 3 times over if you don't like it. If I'm doing a bride's hair and she goes, nope, take it out, I don't like it, I'm going to do it until she's happy. So I think starting at a price where like it's worth that amount of time, and you're also bringing a lot to the show when you're there. It's a little costly, to do things for occasions as far as what you need with you and what you have to make sure you have on hand.
Wow. Like what's an average wedding thing?
I mean, I like really, run of the mill these days, you're going to see $100 per person. And most of the time it's a little more than that, 150. I'd say for me, if you're asking me, updos for, bridal party or for a wedding, you're starting at $100, for a basic updo.
Frank, how much did you say your haircut costs when you go?
20.
My haircut's $20.
Okay.
I think it's 20 or 25.
When I go get a haircut.
Oh boy.
I am not kidding you. Tip included, top to bottom, every time. It's $40.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm bald.
Oh.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Wow, John. Do you do the beard as well?
I do.
Oh.
And he gives me the straight razor treatment, the beard,
that's always going to be a little more. Yeah.
the whole head with the straight razor.
Yeah.
$40.
That should cost you more.
Yeah, and I don't
Wow.
mind. I actually don't mind. I love my guy. And what's so funny is that for men, even more so than women, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like you said, you'll go to do a wedding, and the whole bridal party will get their hair done by whoever is coming, for the most part. Unless there's like one person who's like, I got to go to my girl, right? Like, whatever. But my barber...
Yeah.
When we were having our wedding in the original venue, I was going to ask him to come because I'm very close with him.
Nice.
I was going to ask him to come and give all my guys a little cleanup.
That's awesome.
Before.
Nice.
Except I knew I had 10 guys, 9 guys. I knew only like 3 of them would be confident letting somebody else touch their hair, which is nuts to me.
I would do it.
No. Listen. Oh, men are so much more loyal.
Yeah, these guys, I knew for a fact that they would not let my guy touch their hair.
Like, insanely so. Like, to the point, like, my mom's still doing hair, and I know the hardest people, like, if she ever decides to retire, like, they're going to be like, okay, Phil, but, I understand, you're 85. Can you just fix me up? Like, it's the guys. They are diehards. They are loyal. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, but in defense of the guys who are diehard and loyal.
It's a good thing.
Yes, because the guys, listen, as a woman, you get your hair done, you put on makeup, you wear jewels, you hang diamonds off of your earlobes, you wear rings, bracelets, necklaces, you get dressed fancy, you have a purse, you have shoes. We don't have accessories. I have jeans and a t-shirt and a pair of sneakers. The only thing I got is my hair. If you screw it up, that would be like me graffitiing all over your body. It's all I got. What else can I do?
It's all you're working with. I like that. I'm with that, Frank. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm loyal to my guy. So I'll tell you the story. And I don't think they're going to hear this, but they can. That's fine. The guy I go to is the guy I've been going to since I was 5 years old.
I love that.
Okay? He's an old Italian guy. It was Frank and Sal with the two guys. And the barber pole, they do the straight razor, everything is the same. Their entire clientele are either like Italian guys from the neighborhood or like these guys are loyal. They come in with their tank tops on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m. to get their hair cut by these guys. Like,
getting freshened up.
So one of them moved away, and he's since passed away, unfortunately. The other is still there, but he sold the shop to this guy, Isaac.
Okay.
Young Jewish guy, family man, right?
Okay.
And I like Isaac a lot. So now, at this point, Sal is gotta be in his late 80s.
How his name is? Oh, Sal.
Sal is in his late 80s. I still love him. He calls me counselor because when I was a kid, I wouldn't stop speaking like I was a lawyer.
I love it.
I wouldn't shut up.
I love it.
And we all love him, but he's older.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the newer styles.
It's what you've been getting for 20 years or it's nothing.
Other complications that come with an older guy with a sharp thing. Okay? Like,
Yeah.
I now love Isaac. So I will go and I'll only go to Isaac now.
Oh,
and
no.
It's got nothing to do. I love Sal. I love when he's there. I love to talk to him.
Do you go when he's not there only? Do you only go when Sal's not there?
I try.
Good. Right. You're cheating on Sal. That's what it is.
Pretty much.
But he doesn't care. Sal doesn't care. And I like to see him.
I will tell you that. Sal does not care. Sal does not care. He's happy to see your face, that you still walk through the door. Sal doesn't care.
Oh, yeah. Like, and everybody in my family who goes there still goes there. My uncle moved to Florida. He has a house in Jersey. Whenever he's in Jersey, he drives up and goes and gets his hair cut there. Like, we still go there. We still give them business. And I've become very close with Isaac. He knows my whole story. But I had to face the music at a certain point and go, Sal just isn't giving me what I need.
I know.
I hate to say that.
Listen, I'm Team Sal in this. I know everybody's Team Isaac. Sal listen to me, in your whole life, Sal probably got hundreds of feet of hair off your body, and then you turn your back on him. That little old Italian grandpa with the garlic under his fingernails, and I think it's disgusting.
That's all right. They always have the news on, and then whenever they're talking about Trump, Sal's like, yeah, this guy knows. I'm like, okay, all right, Sal.
Oh, boy.
Okay, Sal.
Wow.
Frank, do you experience this also? I don't know what your Barbers.
100%. Okay, so I've jumped around to a lot of different places to get my hair done. Just 'cause, it's like where I've been spending my time is where I go. There was a time Nicola cut my hair, right?
I
was in where she
Nicola's cut my hair also.
But that was like that went on for a while, right?
Yeah, I cut your hair for a while. Yeah.
For a while, and then I was tired of traveling to that spot out, and at that time it was Breezy Point, right?
Yep.
So now I go to a place in Park Slope. It's called George's, right? There's like a bunch of them, and like you walk in, it's got to be like the room has to be like 10 by 20. It is not a big room.
Yeah.
And there's 4 guys in there, 5 guys, and I've tested everybody out, but there's one guy. This is my guy, right? And they're always very crowded. They run it. They're fast, but they're really good, right? Yeah. So I hate it when I'm sitting and I'm waiting, and then a guy always opens up, and then he like turns and he looks at me, and he's like, "We go," and I gotta go. Ooh, I'm waiting for this guy, right? Ooh, I hate that.
Wait a minute.
Well, we deal with that in nail salons. I have to don't make eye contact when someone's ready who you don't want to go to.
Right. Picture this. Now imagine that situation, except the guy who has the free chair and turns around and goes, huh? Is the guy who's been cutting your hair for 25 years.
It's
Sal.
And you have to go, I guess, and walk as slowly as you can over to the chair.
And one of the reasons my guy is very good, I like him a lot, I trust him totally, but he also calls me movie star, so that makes me like him even more.
That's the best.
Shocker.
He just plays up on my fragile ego.
Is he
Little
old?
ego
Are they older?
They're not that old, no. They're probably in my guy's the oldest guy. He's probably in his 60s, but the other guys are probably 30s, 40s.
So I don't know if you have this experience that I have. And Nicola, maybe you see it. I don't know. Because you're, where you are as well as like where I am. Why I spend most of the time getting my haircut listening to all the other people around me waiting for their haircut. And I just have to close my eyes, get the haircut, and think to myself, I don't agree with anything anybody in here is
It's
saying.
hard. It's hard. It's hard.
I really have to
mean,
be in there and go, I don't agree with any of you.
Yeah. I have to do that standing behind the chair. I have to sometimes, and it could be, any topic under the sun that you have to just nod and sort of like bite your tongue and kind of.
And
Yeah.
you can see your face in the mirror too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, you can't show any sort of emotion.
Poker face. Gotta
And you're holding scissors to their neck. Also.
And I'm holding. I mean, you can't. I'm like a little bit too like you're the therapist. It's us and the bartenders. Like I know more about.
Why is that?
I think there are very few professions that are not in the medical field where you physically touch someone. And I think when you are in a position where you're actually touching someone, it gives them a certain level of comfort. And I think when it's one-on-one and you're sort of a neutral party to a lot of people's problems or different things, they're comfortable.
Yeah,
And
because also, who runs their fingers through your hair ever in life? Your parent when you're young and your significant
Or your
other when you're
husband.
older. So there's a lot of your brain circuitry must fire on when somebody's playing with your hair. It must.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right. I guess if you're trusting someone to be physical with you,
Yeah.
then you must do it right. So like, you think that sex workers hear everybody's problems too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely, John. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out. Guys, get us a sex worker. What else are they doing right now? It's so funny how it's something about you have to trust your person who does your hair. Like you said, I mean, you're the person they talk to. You're the bartender, right? You listen to their problems. So my cousin AJ, who you guys sort of know a little bit, has autism. He is very baseline, sort of. He's not. I mean, he's very verbal, but he's verbal to his family and whatnot. So you have to imagine someone like that. You have to be very careful with who's
Absolutely.
doing their dentistry, who's doing their hair, whatever. So he used to go to Sal also. So eventually they found someone who AJ was very comfortable with going to get his hair cut. This guy, Tony. He loves going to Tony.
Yeah.
So I went with him once to Tony's to get his hair cut. Tony's barbershop is... It's got to be a front. It's basically a front. It's the most... The guy's covered in tattoos. He's got just porn magazines everywhere.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
And guys come in and just hand off of cash and stuff in the back room. And yet, there's AJ. Only trusts Tony
I
to
love
cut his
it.
hair.
My God.
love
And
it.
it's going to put you in a compromising
and
position one day.
AJ's other friends who also have autism and behavioral issues
They like him.
also only trust Tony. I don't understand it.
Wow.
I'm going there for a haircut. I want to go to this place.
The one kid broke his chair by accident. It was a behavioral thing. Broke the chair. They paid him for a new chair. He still goes there.
Oh,
Tony,
my God.
I don't know if it's his
This is
payment.
wild. This
I
is
don't
wild.
know.
Is he a nice guy? Was he very warm?
No.
It doesn't have much to do with that. It's you click with someone for whatever reason. They're comfortable with you
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
I mean, he is nice. He's nice. He's nice enough. But
There's a lot of people who are nice. It doesn't mean they're going to be comfortable. Yeah.
no. Like, there's definitely some like shady stuff going on.
Sure.
Mid haircut.
And it doesn't matter.
Mid haircut.
Oh yeah, he'll
So
stop and
funny.
just have an exchange. Bring somebody in the back, hand some cash over,
Oh, man.
and then. But that's
I love it.
They go there. They love it.
When I was a kid, I went to this place. His name was Phil. It was on Avenue U in Brooklyn, right? And my grandfather went there. My father went there. And Phil was, I guess Phil was Italian.
Yeah.
But then there was like a new guy there, Steve, who's a Russian guy who he'd take this place over. So that was where I got my first haircut. I have the pictures. I look miserable. My hair is brushed down. It's wet over my forehead. I'm like pouting, right? So did my hair for a while. And then, I'd go with my dad, like on a Saturday to get our haircuts. Probably for a while. So when you're a kid, I think a haircut was $9.
Yep.
Okay. Then like for an adult, it went up to like 14 at the time or whatever. So Steve would call me Bambino. Now he's a Russian guy, heavy Russian accent. But Phil used to probably say Bambino, the actual Italian. So my father would take me there and never tell him how old I was. And I got the kid's haircut probably until I was 16. It should have ended at 10. And he'd go, Bambino. And I'd have to lie. What grade are you in? I'd be like, 5th grade. I was in 5th grade. You must have think like I couldn't color out inside the lines. I was in 5th grade for 5. I could have been like a 33-year-old going there. I'd be like, I'm in 5th grade.
Yeah.
You were sitting on the horse, sitting on.
Yeah. Hide my wedding band. Anyway, I don't go there anymore, so I can say it. Sorry, Steve. I'm not 15.
Nicole, did you ever hear of a chain of hairdressers called Lemon Tree?
Of course, I know the Lemon Tree.
So I went there. My mother took me to Lemon Tree because the Lemon Tree was one of my favorite songs when I was a kid by Peter, Paul, and Mary. Because I was a weirdo. And so she used to take me to Lemon Tree because she thought I would like that, I guess.
Why not?
I don't remember what happened there. But I remember it being one of those situations where, as a small child, I had to be 10. I left there and went, I never want to go back to the Lemon Tree ever again. I don't know what they did to me.
What's so bad about the Lemon Tree? I mean, they're
remember.
licensed. Are they licensed? Is it just a franchise of barbers?
No, and what's funny is in a franchise like that, like Supercuts or like Lemon Tree or any, but like you're more likely to have the most, license. Like everything's going to be, stay board perfect, like more so than anything privately owned. You just, I don't know what you can luck out and get someone who happens to work there who's wonderful. I don't know why they got the chain hair places got such a bad rap, but
why work for them versus just a regular mom and pop salon?
I have no idea.
Got it.
I don't know. Perhaps it's like a salaried versus commission. Maybe it's probably like business wise how you look at it. I don't know if you go in. Yeah.
I'm going to follow up John's Lemon Tree question with Nicola. What are your impressions of the Flowbee?
The Flowbee. What are my impressions of it is I wish I could have one and utilize it and see what I actually think of it.
What is it? Is it that doesn't go on your vacuum?
Yes, it was it was a buzzer essentially that attached. I mean, again, this is also, I have, didn't grow up with the dad of the house. I have no brothers. Like, so I wasn't really, and my mom was a hairdresser. I was never going to see a Flowbee. Like, I was never going to know how that really worked. Like, I would be no reason for me to have one or have ever seen one. But as far as I know, it was a basic clipper, men's clippers that attached to your vacuum. And it was no mess, no nothing. It was all good. Sucked up the hair, cut it off, and you were good to go.
Yeah. All the middle-aged white dads in the commercials were so happy. I don't know why they would hike after their haircuts, but they were thrilled.
It was good times. It was good times, Let's just all Flowbee each other and go for a hike.
Let's all get Flowbeat and go out. Frank, do you want to play our first game?
Yeah. You got the list, right?
I do.
Okay. All right, Nicola, it's time for the rating game.
The rating game.
You're going to rate the following things. Rate it how you like.
Clippers.
Rated
Clippers,
yeah.
exactly.
Wait. Give me like a 1 to 10. Like, how am I rating?
Yep, that's exactly right. 1 to 10 Clippers.
Most of the time, people just end up going, yeah, it's all right, or giving us their opinion on it. But if you decide you want to rate it at some point, you could rate it 1 to 10 Clippers.
Good.
Okay, so please rate the following things we've always wondered about hairdressing.
Okay.
John, do you want me to start it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Nicola, how do you rate my barber's accent?
How do I rate your barber's accent?
You like it or no?
Yeah, I love it. Sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Great.
Cool.
I'll give it an 8.
How about when the barber talks to you while buzzing around your ears like you're supposed to hear him? Why?
That's like a 10.
Do you talk to people when you're blowing out their hair?
I love to do it on purpose. I love it. And then make them feel crazy because they don't know what you're saying. Yeah, no, that's a 10.
You got to time it out so that when you turn the blower off, you just end the sentence like on something crazy. Yeah, and then there was a bear there when I woke up. And then just end it.
They continue with something you don't want to hear. You're like, oh my God, that's so crazy. Just like
that's the move. Yeah.
So crazy. Yeah. Cannot hear them.
Terrible. All right, Nicola, how do you rate this? Why the powder brush is so rough?
It shouldn't be rough. No, it should not be rough.
Rough. You could put wallpaper paste up with that brush. It is the stiffest brush I've ever seen in my entire life.
No good. They're getting like, cheapo, non-natural fiber. No, that should be soft and supple.
Yes.
No.
I have one and it's the softest thing.
That should be.
When your barber powders your neck, it's soft?
Yeah, it should be like.
Listen to me. My barber, he does the hot shaving cream on my neck. He does it with the straight razor.
Yeah.
Then he puts like the astringent.
Yeah.
And then he blow dries the astringent so it doesn't hurt.
Of
And
course.
then he digs into my neck with powder on a brush that I think is made of metal. I think it's a wire brush.
No.
Terrible.
Very
Terrible.
soft. Very
I'll
soft.
talk to him about it.
You ever get cut? Isaac cuts my head every once in a while, and then sometimes he'll go like ham if he's in a rush. I'll get a bunch of cuts on the back of my head. I'll come home and she's like, "What the hell is that?" Just cuts on my head.
And you still like him better than Sal. Chop it up your dome, and you like him better than Sal.
Sal, if I ask Sal to do my beard, I'm gonna have no beard. But let me ask you a question: When is it true that barbers and hairdressers have a thing, whatever chemical he just mentioned there, that they could put on when someone gets cut and it like kind of closes it up right away?
It's called a styptic, and yes, you can.
That's crazy.
Again, something that there's different types. Nail salons have it too. Dog groomers use it. There can be like a stick. It's almost like a crayon. You can use that. It's called a styptic, and it sort of stops anything from continuing to bleed.
That's cool.
He uses it on me every time.
Yeah.
No.
Yep, every time.
Well, apparently, Edward Scissorhands over there is like jacking him up every time.
I would like to point out again, I also never cut myself. So I'm going to be a barber. All right. What about those big machines that used to dry your hair? The ones that was like a dome over your head.
For the perm?
Yeah.
Hooded dryers, and therefore everything. Yeah, sure. I'm going to rate them like a 7.
Do you have one?
In the shop, we have hooded dryers. They're very handy. Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have one, but it's not really. It's a lamp. But if you took the bulb out, it definitely looks like a hooded dryer.
It's true. He makes fun of it all the time.
I try to sit under it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Nicola, this is one that we've actually talked about before. What about going home with other people's hair in your bra?
Yeah. What about it?
Happens a lot.
This is a hazard of the job. If it is, it's you cannot help it. You're on a busy day. You're cutting for however many hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. You're wearing anything that other than a turtleneck. You're going home with hair in your shirt, in your in your belly button. Yes,
No.
yes, in your teeth,
No.
Yes, especially like buzzed hair, like barbering, that it flies and it's super. Cut hair is crazy sharp. Cut hair is crazy sharp. It's like it will give you a splinter.
That's what you used to tell me. You got like hair splinters. And I remember that. I was like, what? That's a thing?
Splinters, and you cannot find them until they're awful. And you're like, what? I have glass in my soul, and it's just a piece of cut hair.
Wow.
Ugh.
I will say I have 2 or 3 things. Well, we don't know that's a lie. That I really hate. That they bother me.
You know who else? Seriously to the point of meltdown, hates hair on their person, on their things, in front of them, anywhere? Shay.
Really?
Your daughter.
My daughter, my almost 5-year-old, to the point of a meltdown, screaming, flipping, bugging out because there is hair on something of hers. Well, I'm sorry. I'm a hairdresser. Your grandmother's a hairdresser, and the poor kid is to her wit's end every day. So you and Shay can commiserate.
Oh, I hate it.
I'm going to tell you what I think is gross about being a hairdresser. So when all of us like take showers in our homes, there's like hair on the wall sometimes, and you're like, oh, that's mine or that's my wife's. But like Nicola, like when you do that, you see hair on the wall in your own shower, and you're like, there's Lorraine. It has to be.
Why is Lorraine's hair in my shower?
Anybody? Because it's on you, right? Don't you have? You probably have other people's hair everywhere in your house.
No, I think no. I mean, more likely in my maybe in my wash or by the time I'm in the shower, typically I'd say I'm rid of other people's,
I hope so. That would be very unpleasant.
I do try to not, keep it all on me for any length of time.
Fair
I like it. Frank, you can give it the next one because I know this one's for you.
Okay. So this is very personal here. So, Nicola, please rate this. How the barber feels when I throw my hat on immediately after the haircut. Like someone graffitied the Sistine Chapel?
Okay. So, it depends. If I know you're a regular client and you're a hat wearer, I don't even blink. I don't think about it. It's a non-issue. If I have never done your hair before and you stand up, put it on, and walk out without a word, I'm assuming, I don't take offense to it, but I'm assuming you're not happy.
But you have it with you. What are
Yeah,
you supposed to do
I wore
with
it there.
I wore
What
it
do you do
there.
with it?
I cannot tell you the percent. I would love, I should do some research on this as well. The percentage of men who walk in wearing a hat and walk out and have to come back to get it is very high. Walk out without it on.
That's probably so true.
Without it on, they forget they came in with it. Oh, sorry, I forgot my hat. And it's the same joke. I guess you liked your haircut. Like, it's the same sort of like, I'm glad you forgot your hat type of joke every single time. But a lot of the time, that does happen. But again, consistent hat wearers that I know it's the same hat I've seen you in for 10 years, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me.
Because my guy, I always wear a hat there because usually my hair at that point is pretty long. And so he'll do my hair and then he'll always be like, you want a gel or something? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Because I have all these cut hairs in my head. They're all over my face. Don't style my hair.
Yeah.
Right, I
So
gotta
I
go
throw
home
my
and
hat
shower. I gotta go home and shower. I got little hairs everywhere.
But I think
have
he
people
wants
who
to
like
style
that.
it. I feel
Yeah.
bad. I think he wants to do it.
We do. We want to do the whole. We want to you can just have them wash it after and then style it. There are people whose hair I shampoo post haircut because they want it done. They want to be styled. They want to walk out good. They don't want all loose hair around, so they get washed after their haircut. I style it and they go.
Got it.
See, Isaac puts this slimy cucumber stuff on my head that makes my head smell like cucumbers, and then, but I tell him not to do it because then I go home and I have to wash the stuff out of my hair, and my hands get clammy, and all the water beads up and falls off my head.
And this is a problem.
Yeah, of course. What do we think about the holes in the ozone layer created by the 80s?
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of hairspray.
I mean, Aquanet's no joke.
Yeah.
No,
Do you
that's.
still use it?
I do not, but we use aerosol cans of hairspray, not particularly Aquanet, but yeah.
Aren't all cans of hairspray aerosol? No. How else can you get it out?
There's pump sprays of hairspray.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, I can see it on her glass top dresser in her bedroom. She always had the giant Aussie can.
The Aussie purple.
The purple, and it had it made a film on the glass because she would just right there in the bedroom.
And not wipe it off. Right.
Not wipe it off at all. Scrape it off after a few days.
Now, my mother, the hairdresser, will make me go outside her front door to hairspray my hair if I do my hair by hair. She hates hairspray.
I love the smell of it.
Hates it. Go outside if you're going to use it.
Wow.
Sure. Okay.
She's also like the hairspray Nazi at the theater during the show. She's like, open both doors.
That's right.
But you guys had really good smelling hairspray, especially for like How to Succeed when we were all doing those updos.
Yes. We get the good stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, you ready for your next one? You have 2 left.
I have one.
You want to go, Danielle?
Yeah, I have one. Rate the smell that the perm, like the chemicals of the perm.
Oh. Negative anything. Horrible. Like, why?
That smell reminds me of my grandmother so much. It's unbelievable.
I'm upset that I have zero background in chemistry because the person who can create a perm that does not smell like that will be a billionaire. Perms have smelled like disgusting rotten egg sulfur for 60 years. When that can no longer be a thing, that's going to be like a big innovation.
And the perm is like really tight curls?
It's a perm is short for permanent wave, and depending on the size of the roller, that's the type of curl you get. But the chemical used in that situation is the same thing for forever. And
what does that do to the hair? It locks it into a curl?
It literally opens the hair shaft, chemically changes the makeup, the molecular makeup of the shape of the hair to form in however it is. So you could literally hold someone's hair straight, put perm solution on it, and it would hold straight because whatever you're doing to it at the time is the shape it's going to take.
Wow. And you can't get that wet. Is that something?
That's not really true. It's not really true. That's a myth. I mean, you probably don't want to, but it doesn't really matter. You probably don't want to wash your perm for a day or two, but nothing's going to happen to it if you do.
I used to look like I always had a perm.
Are you curly? Naturally curly guy, John?
Oh my God. Okay, I used to pray that my hair would straighten out. I was never able to do the flip.
Is it like Dana's? Is it like Dana's?
Mine was more, even more like coarse, curly.
Tighter. It's tighter. Curl, yeah.
But not like, but people used to be like, oh, like Corey Matthews? No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't
right. No.
It didn't look like Brillo. But
and you just wanted Sean Hunter's hair.
All I wanted was straight hair. Yeah. When I had long hair, okay, I had hair that when wet would be down past my eyes, right?
And bing, 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 bing. Yeah.
Like I looked like Art Garfunkel.
I love it.
Because it was already going back, right? So it just I was looking like Larry Fine from the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
So when I used to gel it, all like intense gel it because it would make it look like ramen noodles, but it was like curly at least. But it was
you were like Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Yes, but not blonde. I didn't have that crazy those highlight tips.
No frosted tips for you?
No. So I did. My friends at school, and you could ask like Joe or any of these guys, and they all knew you could not come near my head. Because if you touch one curl, it would puff out.
Perfection. Right.
Yeah, it would puff out, and then I couldn't do anything. So I would spend all day doing just like this.
Oh,
like
man.
Okay? And then, I hated it. I hated it so much. And I think, I've heard there's no science to this. I don't know. I am convinced the reason I lost all my hair was I used far too much product when I was young. I used
probably not.
Only Queen Helen.
I knew you were going to use Queen Helene.
I only used Queen Helene.
John used Queen Helen. It was more expensive.
No, I actually know it was Queen Helene, but I didn't want to say that, and then you guys have not heard it pronounced that way. So yes, no. I used to use it like by the handful. And I would put mousse. I would try all sorts of stuff.
Let me ask you a question. Your mom has very thick, nice hair, from what I remember, right?
Yeah.
From what I see. Her father, what kind of hair did he have, or lack thereof?
He had hair. Both of my grandparents had hair. My grandfathers had hair when they died.
Typically, like you see it a lot more times than not, men get their hair gene from their maternal grandfather a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. Not always, but that is a significant amount of the time. That's what. And now your dad, I can't think what your dad's hair situation.
He's got hair. He does have it. More than me.
Yeah, you just got some bad luck there, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my mother's father was a redhead.
Oh.
My mother is a redhead. Don't tell anybody.
And you have a little bit of red going on in there.
My beard is red.
Yeah.
Right. But my hair, I don't even remember. I used to.
Wasn't your hair like darker brown?
Yeah, but it's been so long. Like, I'll tell you, it's gonna get deep, but like, I would give anything to have hair. I would give anything to have hair.
I know, that's what Andy always. I mean, this is the thing when you're a guy, and particularly when you have the, sort of misfortune of not losing it at a younger age. It's not great. It's not great. It's
it sucks.
Not the best thing. It does.
But I got to tell you, as another guy, I don't think I ever look at a guy who has no hair. Like, you shave your head. It's not that you have no hair, but you shave your head totally bald and you have a beard. And I never think, oh, he lost his hair. I never think that. I'm always like, I always go, that looks awesome. I never think that. I don't know.
But if a guy like you was to shave your head bald, I'd be furious.
I'd look like a fool.
Well,
I'd be furious.
He would look.
Why would you do that?
No, I wouldn't.
Slap in the face, right?
Yeah. But look, I think it had to be something in the food, though, growing up. Because think about it. Look at me and all my friends. If we all stood together, we'd look like bowling pins.
I mean, you have a photo of that from the wedding.
We're literally
five
of us. Five of us, maybe six of us, all went to the same high school, and we were all naturally bald at the
Something
age
in
of
the water
30.
that year. And you're all exactly the same age?
Yep.
It was
That's
that
weird,
year.
John.
Something happened that year.
It is weird. They're
That is
all
weird.
bald, and we're all 30.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Shall we finish out our list? We're
Yeah,
almost done.
please do.
What do you think about the higher the hair, the closer to God?
Well, no, this is a thing. This is especially down south. That's a real thing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I kind of I subscribe to big hair a little. I don't really like flat hair unless it's naturally that way. Yeah, okay, so an 8. Higher the
Okay.
hair.
Okay.
Good. Which God, though, exactly?
Well, I mean, the hair god. The hair gods,
Oh,
obviously.
the hair God. So, okay, I understand. So that's Jesus. Jesus had a nice head of hair on him.
Sure.
We think so, right? We think
Definitely, sure. Yeah.
Buddha,
yeah.
bald.
Buddha, not
so.
Buddha. Right.
Depends. No.
No.
Yeah, probably Jesus.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last one. So your honest feelings on the concept of a cow lick. And Frank wants to know if when his mother really held it down with her spit, did it really stay down?
Oh my God. Okay, so there's so many things. The concept of a cowlick versus the reality of it. But
Yeah, I had two.
it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Cowlick,
And explain why we have it.
more commonly known as just a growth pattern. It's nothing. It's that one of those old wives phrases, I guess you could say. A cowlick. Cowlick, you had your hair started growing that way. But it's just a growth pattern. Everyone has different growth patterns.
I have to stop you. John, Danielle, did you realize that's why they called it a cow lick? It's like the cow
I
licked
just
your
now
hair.
thought about it. And I think
I
it's
am
the funniest
shocked
thing.
that you just said that. You shook me to the core. That's why they call it that?
This is why I'm here. Because the thing would be, oh yeah, when they were a baby, the cow must have licked your head, and that's why that. Yeah.
The cow did lick my head when I was a baby, but that's not the result.
Funny.
So it's a cowlick.
Okay.
But it's just a growth pattern. Everybody has them. Everybody has different ones. Some more dominant and frustrating, than other types. And yeah, your mom licking her hand and smashing it down. Absolutely, that worked, right?
Why not just cut the cowlick off all the way at the root? Go to the bottom, pop that thing off.
Because it's going to grow back out of your head the same way. It's not
And pop it off again, is what I say.
Well, then, yeah, hey, go for it. Then just be a baldy in one spot, sure.
I had two as a kid, right on the back of my head in two even spots. And my aunt,
circles?
2 circles. My aunt used to tell me it was like the devil had horns. 2 of them right on the back of my head.
The whole and funny. My mom, myself, Shay, and now I see a little bit. Actually, Reese, Josie's is on the other side. We have the same one in the back of our head.
Wow.
So, I mean, you could see it on their head, with just the teensy bit of hair that they have. It's the same annoying one right in the back.
Is that how hair grows? I mean, it grows like a crop circle. It spirals around itself until
Not
it goes out.
everybody, no. Sometimes it grows straight forward. Sometimes it goes straight down. Not everybody.
Wow.
All different.
But can you retrain it to go another way?
Yeah, you can push it whichever way you want. It's going to be easier or harder. And I do believe when people say you can't train hair, when you do style your hair to a certain direction consistently enough, it does tend to want to go that way. Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to know if you consider yourself specializing in something in regards to hair, because I have an opinion, but I just didn't know if it was the same one for you.
Yeah. I mean, as far as what I'm good at, I think, I don't know. I would prefer. I like coloring better than anything else. I would color all day long and never cut hair. In any given day, I'm a good hair cutter, which is, I think, harder. I don't know. I guess I could consider myself more of a colorist.
Yeah, no, that's what I consider you, but I just didn't know if you like.
And I hate what's fun. I hate finishing work. I hate styling. I hate blowing out. I hate curling iron. Go sit in someone else's chair. Let me color your hair. Let me make it awesome, and then go sit by someone else to get your finishing work. Hate it. Good at it, but I hate it.
Fair.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, just for a little background on you, we know you famously, as it were, had your own place.
I did.
Right, and what happened? The story there was what?
Super famous. I took over My mom was a salon owner forever, ever, ever. When she no longer wanted to own the business, I took it over from her. I had a lovely business that I was running until Hurricane Sandy hit in 2012. And I was engaged. I had a lot going on. I didn't want to reopen right away. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I also have always had other jobs. I've always had secondary work. And at that time, I was still doing a ballroom dancing program in public schools. And I didn't know where, once the dust settled, what I wanted to do. So I stepped back a little and unfortunately didn't get any, as far as on the financial end, anything for my business, any help. I wasn't approved for any of the loans that were out at that time. So I really also didn't have, any capital to sort of build up a business again. And then I went to work at the Hair Den in Breezy via Danielle, you hear me, Diane, after I got married. And I said, okay, I think I'll just be an employee for a while. And it was good and I liked it and it worked really well at the time, and it's working well as I'm sort of building my family. It's nice to not be the boss for a bit and still get to do hair, and I love the salon I'm in and I love the people.
And so do you think that you eventually would like to open your own place again? Or it's not something you're interested in?
It depends. It's very funny. If the right circumstance came along, I would be an owner again. I don't know that I'd ever build a salon from the ground up ever again, but I would be an owner again if the opportunity came about.
Right. But until then, you're happy to have your clients in your chair.
I have my wonderful clients,
but if the chairs can be roving too, right? Which is so funny, where you can go and they'll show signs and be like
so and so is now.
That's
here.
so funny. Those signs.
Denise is back.
Like little rock stars.
Yeah.
Denise from Rocco's is here.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And people, let me tell you, they're on the. I just saw Denise's sign. Let's go. I see where she is now. Yeah.
So do you have people who have been your clients?
They will follow you.
You have people who followed you there?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I retained a really good percentage of my clientele through owning the salon, leaving when I had Shay coming back, leaving when I had the twins coming back. So I have a lot of high percentage of client retention.
I mean, Danielle follows you.
It's true.
Danielle.
Wow.
You cut my hair once. You cut my hair once.
You cut John's hair?
I cut John's hair once. I did. He was in need, so they came to visit me.
Yes, and she. It's funny, we were talking before about whether or not there was anything that Nicola had ever done that she didn't think was a good idea or should have probably refused. When I came in with a beard, and I asked Nicola, I had a full beard, like a big fluffy full beard.
I don't even remember this.
And I shaved off just the chin. So I had the full,
Okay.
Martin Van Buren handlebars. And Danielle and her mom told me I was not allowed to keep it, and I had to go handle it. And so I went to Nicola, and I asked her to clean it up, but leave the handlebars style. And you did.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Oh.
I was going to say, and you shaved it all off.
It was the worst thing that ever happened to me, and I'm not over it.
I'll find the picture, and you tell me whether or not it was something you should have done or something you should have refused.
He was allowed to keep it for 2 days. We went on an impromptu trip to Boston, and that's why we had it. We have this one photo of it, and then he immediately came home, and it was done. It was gone.
Yeah. I'll find the picture and put it up in the meantime.
Let me ask you this while John's looking for this picture.
Yes.
So we've all been quarantined. Everybody's home. All the hair is growing. You know how it goes. My wife is dying to cut my hair. Every day she says, let me just do it. Let me just do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. Now, I don't want her to do it.
No. Mm-hmm.
But what can she do to alleviate this mess of hair that I have rocking right now?
For you, nothing, because the part of it that's bothering you is the hard, difficult part that's the easiest to screw up. Like, it's not as if you've got straight.
What's bothering me? Tell me.
The whole time. No?
Yeah, like, but everywhere. Like in here, it's so much.
Frankie, listen to me. It's not as if you've got straight, flat, and it's like, okay, it's just growing down too long on my neck. Cut it straight across. Not the case with you. Not the case. Anything that she's going to have to do to make your hair make you happier with what's going on your head is going to be too too much. There's too much room for error.
Got it.
Don't do it.
But is
Don't
that
do
the
it.
advice you'd give kind of blanket to anyone? Like, don't try to do it yourself?
No, you could, depending on depending on what you're working with, honestly.
Right. So you just made everybody think that I have the worst possible hair.
No,
Period.
no, not at all. You've got phenomenal hair. You've got a good, get it, Frank. You've got a wonderful head of hair that's not
Thank you.
easy to cut. It's not easy hair to cut, and it's gonna be hard to fix if it's screwed up.
Got it. And I think this is because of my Greek genes. Because when you were saying that, my mother's father, 100% Greek, and he had hair like this.
See?
See?
There you go. Yeah, no,
A nice
just let it
Greek
rock.
head.
Deal with it, Sweeney.
Yeah, right. It's going to be so bad. Oh, my God.
Okay, I have since found the photo.
Let me see.
Oh, I'm so into this.
Let me see.
It's good.
So this, if you can
Yeah.
see,
Now it's all. Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, I remember this. Wait. You got to just tilt it. It's a little...
Gotta tilt it. Yeah, the light is.
No. Yes. Oh, yeah, there it is.
yeah, just
Yep.
the little,
Yeah, it just...
yep. Because
So,
and actually,
how many-
I look at it and I think it looks pretty good.
How many times did I ask you? Are you sure? When you told
Probably
me?
at
I
least.
think you know me well enough to know
least
if I
3
came
times.
in with the full bushy Martin Van Buren
But
beard.
did I? No. But did I still ask?
I think
Yes.
you asked, but I think you knew that I wanted it.
In my heart,
Everyone-
you were
Everyone
walking
at the
out.
shop. Everyone at the shop asked, and they were like, "Oh,
Oh, the girls. They were like, "Don't do it."
yeah."
Well, you know what?
Yeah,
It is what it is. I think it's great.
and it was fine, and it was good.
So I want to ask you a couple of questions. So Danielle and I have written down some things, and I'm gonna. This is a second game I want to play with you.
Okay.
Of the 3 of us,
Yeah.
for each one of these hairstyles, I want you to tell me which of us would fit said hairstyle.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Oh, wait. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. And if you could come up with other ones after we hit the list there, Frank, please throw them
Yeah,
in.
no, I don't know. I'm coming for the ride on this one.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So we'll start with a mullet.
Danielle.
I did have a mullet when I was growing my short hair back.
100%. Go ahead,
Yeah. How about a rat tail?
Frankie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Especially
love it.
with that mustache like that right now.
Oh man, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Give me some jean shorts, a nice rat tail. Oh, I'm ready.
How about
Take me to Six Flags. Okay.
how about the Rachel?
Oh, Frankie.
Frankie.
What?
would
I
have
thought
a
I just thought it was gonna be John. Thanks.
good- You'd
I'll
have
take
a
it.
good. You'd have a good ombre
You have the
sweep.
good text. Yeah, no, that's yeah.
The Rachel. Thank you.
Okay. What about the short buzzed on the side, sweep on the top? That's very
Danielle.
popular now. Danielle. Tell her a couple more times after.
Yeah,
this
that's what he
call,
wants
please.
me to do after quarantine.
That's what I
We're
want
I
chopping
thought
her
we
to
were
do.
doing this months ago. We just have not.
She
I
won't-
thought
What do you
we were
mean?
doing-
Buzzing the sides and then like
Yeah, like the Megan Rapinoe.
No, just like
buzz the
crazy
sides
short. Yeah.
yeah,
with the
yeah,
longer on the top. You could do one side. You could do
That's cool. I like it.
very cool. Danielle won't do it because Danielle is lame.
Oh, Elton.
Okay, how about a bob?
Oh, well, I'm gonna go with who I'd like to see in a Bob John. I
Yeah,
want you in
sure.
a Bob.
There you
Yeah,
go.
of course.
Thank God.
I want you in a Bob Squire.
It's got to be one of those like Beatles Liverpool bobs. Where
Yeah.
it's just like real bouncy right on the front bangs and then bouncy right on the side
Look
bangs.
like the Dutch boy.
Yeah, like a little Dutch guy, right?
On the
right.
paint can.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Kristen
short
Wiig's
bangs.
Target lady from SNL. Just
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
How about the buzz cut? Simple buzz.
You, John. I'd like to see you with more hair, but a real buzz cut.
A
You
real
can do
buzz. I look real cool with a buzz.
it. You would.
How about a pompadour?
Well, Frankie has one.
I have one.
But a big
It's
one.
really- Frankie, just let it grow. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming in.
it's there.
What about a mohawk?
Danielle, 100%.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. I had a faux hawk when I was first starting to lose my hair because I had registered that the one place that I did have hair still was
In the center.
in
at
the
top.
center at the top because it was receding. So
And what did you do to battle the curl when you had that?
At that point, I had cut it so short.
Less curly.
It was right after me having my hair at its longest, so we cut it real short.
And traumatized
and
the hell out.
the middle sort of still curved. Had a bit of like Robbie from the show Dinosaurs, like curve.
Okay.
Yeah.
John, when you were losing your hair, though, do you remember it? Were you like, oh my God, it's falling out? Like, or was it slow and imperceptible?
Ew, that's such an insulting. It's Frankie.
Why is that insulting?
I remember
Relive that with me, John. Relive that.
Yeah, we talk about everything.
I
What was
don't
that
really
like?
remember it receding. I remember making fun of my brother for his hair receding a lot and not even knowing what it meant. And now he laughs at me because now he's got hair and I don't.
Yeah.
But I remember having long curly hair, and when it was its longest, I cut it. I layered it. I went to my mom's hairdresser and had him layer it.
Yeah.
It ultimately just ended up looking really. It looked like a bob, like really short and curly, right around the sides and the top, and it never grew back the same way. It never grew back again.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately, and the last one I have is an afro.
You, John, 100%.
Me. Oh,
Totally.
My dad had an afro.
Yes, and it's the greatest photo ever.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Oh, it's so
It was a good one, and he had it for a long time. I have my dad's afro pic. He gave it to me.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. I have it. Big afro, like big. Yeah.
I need documentation. I want to see that picture.
It's really good.
Yeah, for a long time. Any other styles you could think of there, Frank?
I don't think you really hit all.
I'd say short
No?
bangs. Short bangs.
Short bangs.
I'm going to come out and I got to say this about hair now. I don't know anything about women's hair, but I know one haircut that whenever I see it, I hate it, and I've never liked it on any single person.
I know.
And it's when girls have the bangs in the front like an awning coming off their head, like a Zoe Deschanel. Maybe she's the only one.
Yeah,
everybody else with that. What are you doing?
There's two camps. There's two camps of I hate bangs and there's bang people. There's sort of no in between. Like
I've been trying to get a couple of bang people as guests on this show. I can't get it.
Right? Full circle back to that. Frankie, people hate. You're one of those. You're just someone who can't.
But not like bangs that come down on someone's forehead, like they sweep across. I'm talking about the awning that you could put a Matchbox car under. What are you doing? It looks like a big eyelashes on
the front of your head.
No, you don't like bangs. Danielle,
get rid of them.
Bangs.
I've had bangs several times, and then my forehead is too short.
You have a small forehead.
Oh my God. So it like grows out, and I'm so not. Yeah. And I'm so not a person to upkeep properly. So I get bangs once, and then I'm like, I need to go back in 2 weeks. And then it's like 4 or 5 months later, and then I've swept them and then put them away. It's the worst.
I'd love to draw a picture of what Danielle describes herself as. Just a drawing of a person, short forehead, no torso, patchy mullet.
And
this
no
is
ankles.
Danielle's description of herself.
This is my perception of myself in my head.
Danielle, but you actually have thought about the size of your own forehead?
Yes.
Of course.
It never ever entered my head as an idea.
Yes. Oh my God. The size of my head.
I could fit her head in my palm.
The size of my head is a constant
grape.
conversation I have with myself because
Got a little head.
I have such a tiny head, which is great because I look nice in hats. I look nice in glasses, but my shoulders, because my head is so small, my shoulders look wider.
Which we've established are broad shoulders.
As I broad shoulders on one of the various episodes where John insults me. And so I'm not as photogenic. If you have a bigger head, you are more photogenic.
Is that true?
Yes, that is 100% true. I learned that in high school, and I was like, oh, I have a tiny head. Hence,
I've got a huge noggin.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this story. When I was in high school, one of my teachers, I will not say what she taught, she was a little nasty, and I remember after class, I was asking her a question, and she looked me dead. I swear to God, this is a real story. I was such a little goody nothing. I had friends. I was never a problem. She looked me dead in the eyes, and she goes, "You know something? You got a big head." And I never
Did
forgot
she
it.
mean like you were gassed up? Like,
No, she did not. She was
literally-
like, she could have taken like a phrenology course on my brain. No, she literally told me I had a big head, and I was like, okay, thank you, and I left. And I always, every so often, I'm like, my
Terrible.
fucking big head, this fucking float on my fucking neck.
But you don't have a big head.
you don't
Yes,
have
I
a big
do.
head.
Yes, I
thank you.
do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. And
I
after the
cut your
barber cuts my
hair.
after the barber cuts my hair, I realize, look at that skinny little neck with that lollipop on top. Yes, I do. I'm a freak. No one should look at me.
I have a big head.
John has
I
a
have
very
the
big
head
head.
of a Macy's Day Parade balloon.
Yeah.
My head is like a giant melon. Okay?
It's my favorite thing when we like take selfies. I refuse to be
And
in
it's
the
like,
front. I put him in the front of me because of the big head. It's so funny.
I have a big head and a fat neck. So when I have
Do
no
you?
beard, I look like a thumb. No, it's bad. I lost a bunch of weight once, right? And I was like thin. And I looked,
I love what you made once. That was-
yeah, only once. And I look back at the photos of that time, and I think to myself every once in a while, man, I should lose some weight. And I look back at those photos, I'm like, no, I shouldn't.
No.
I literally looked like I was going to topple over. I looked like a Funko Pop. My head was huge. Huge.
You know what I
long.
hate? I'll tell you what else I hate about my head. I hate this part of my head, the back, and
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of other guys when I look at their heads and their heads go straight down, like a nice sort of like a Ray Liotta
Straight
type
down,
of a
like
head.
Flat back of
You
your
want
head.
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
flat? That's like
Mine-
the worst.
okay.
That's literally what you
Mine,
don't want.
excuse me, mine goes back like the really hard rock climbing course when you got to go against gravity.
You have an
my head
apple head.
slopes in, and I
Yeah.
think I'm like a big-headed alien freak.
The back of my head looks like the Michelin Man's arms. Okay?
Yeah.
John
this is
wins.
what Andy will have. He has a term for this. If you see someone with rolls in the back of their head, the back of their neck, he calls it a pack of hot dogs.
Yeah, it looks like a pack of hot dogs. Oh, yeah. That's funny.
I always also have a fear that one day someone's going to say, we have to shave your entire head. And I'm like, oh, no. And that it's all wrinkled scalp. I'm so scared.
Oh, that's the worst.
But listen,
Just the
I don't think
wrinkly
it is.
scalp.
It's not. But I'm scared. I didn't realize I had it. And then they shaved the head. And it just looks like muddy, like World War I soil with the ditches.
Yeah. Let's hope you never have to have your head shaved.
The worst
scared.
thing about being bald is that when you let your hair grow in for a while and your wife says to you, oh, you got to cut your hair because it starts to look like Jason Alexander. And so she'll say, oh, you got to cut your hair. Your hair's getting a little crazy. And then you do cut it and you get hair everywhere and it takes you an hour and you come out like, hey, and she doesn't notice.
Oh, yes, that does sound problematic.
Doesn't notice at all.
No,
Today she didn't even look up. I was
I
in the
didn't
bathroom
look
for an
up
hour.
today. I was working and he came in and he left. And then I walked out and then I saw his bald head. Because yesterday I told him he had like a flat patch. I was like, oh, honey, you got to take care of that.
Right, when I start to have bedhead, then you know I have too much hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were shaving it in the mirror, were you like, oh, Danielle's gonna love this.
No.
Danielle's gonna love
No.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
5 years ago, yes.
What do you
Now
think
I
for
know
the
that Danielle's not going to notice. As I shave my head, I'm like, Danielle's not going to notice. Danielle's going to know I shaved my head because she's going to see little hairs everywhere on the sink.
No, she won't because you made sure you cleaned them up really, really well.
Oh, I do.
He
Oh,
does.
I
He's
do.
so good at that.
Yeah. I had a big,
Well, it bothers him.
my neck beard was really bad up until this afternoon. I had full on.
Yeah.
My dad has decided that he's not shaving until
Oh, no
after the
shave
pandemic. Yeah. And it's looking great. My thing is, I would love to do that. Except my beard is always big. I just had a big beard that I didn't cut for 6 months.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not novel. Yeah.
Me actually.
It's not the novel coronavirus.
No, right. No, I don't know. One last question I have about
Yeah.
being a hairdresser. When people tell you the gossip, is it like a priest where you're sworn to secrecy, like patient doctor confidentiality? You can't tell anybody?
For me, it is. I have never, in however long I've been doing hair, maybe 16 years, I guess. I have never once had anyone ever come back to me and say, oh, so and so heard yet in your chair ever. Ever.
That's because you're good at it. That's why.
I would just say partially because the second you walk away from me, I forgot everything you just said.
That's important.
There you go.
But also, no, I do really treat it like, and I do take anything anyone ever says to me in my chair as, yeah, doctor-patient confidentiality. That's it. You say it to me, it goes nowhere else.
Right. I respect that.
I think, you know what, Nicola? We really realize how valuable you people are to our lives in this time when we can't have you.
It's so I have more people have sent me messages and say we should be considered essential, and you know what? It's an interesting thing. Beyond just like feeling good in here, when you're dealing with people's vanity, it's very it becomes very serious. It's very serious to them, and they've now lost us for a while. You guys have lost us for a minute.
Right. Well, you're an essential worker.
I apparently. Who knew?
Yeah, and you also live with an essential worker.
And I live with an essential worker. I do.
And you live with essential babies as well.
And essential babies. Yes, yes.
So who's your essential husband?
Who's my essential husband is Andy the EMT, the essential husband, Andrew Nellen.
Andy the EMT who won't do our show.
He's full of shit. You need him on the show. I'll let him know.
He's essential, and he's exactly who we want to talk to.
Yes, we do.
I will
he
let
has
him
great
know.
stories.
Yeah.
He does have good stories. Mine are better, but he has good stories.
Oh, Nicola, can you tell us a connection between you and your husband? You wrote an article.
I did.
Can you talk about that?
Of course. I through the years of him being an EMT, which in the span of his life and his jobs isn't really that long, but it's long enough where in this, sort of career that he has now, it's become very apparent the, sort of disparity in their wages versus a lot of other city employees and a lot of, first responders. And he would just come home, month after month, then year after year, really just bumming about the fact that he doesn't know if he can, I'm really frustrated with the job. I love what I do. I don't want to quit my job. I don't want to change my job, but I feel like I have to. This is an issue. Really, what you're making is just not even remotely acceptable for what they do. And he would always, it's been in the news, it's been back and forth. The unions, been fighting for it for quite some time. And he would post articles and share different things here and there that touch on the subject. And he would always get angry at me for not also sharing them. And I would say, yeah, you know what? No one's going to scroll past Nicola sharing an article, stop and actually read it. And I said, I'm kind of collecting my thoughts. And one day I'll put it together and, say something in my own words. And I did that maybe about 2 months ago. I just put a post on Facebook. I didn't even tell him I was doing it. He was like, a little surprised. And as it went down the chain of sort of, it was on his union page, a lot of other EMTs, not even knowing who it was, were sharing it. A lot of wives reached out to me. The local papers had picked it up and asked if they could print it. Eventually got around so many places that I got an email from someone who works at the Daily News, wanting to sort of just fact check and talk to me, and they wanted to run it. And within, it was probably 10 days of me posting it, it was in the Daily News.
That's
and
so cool.
yeah, pretty cool. And something that people, because a lot of it, my big thing was people don't really realize. People don't realize that they don't, make the same or even close to the same salary or wages as their compatriots, as the cops, as other firemen, as, even teachers or sanitation. And it's a shame. And the men and the women who do his job, the ones who stay, the ones who stick it out, the ones who are, lifers, they're there because they really do love it. They love it, all of them. And it's a shame. And, I just kind of wanted to bring a little light to that because anytime I would tell people, either our struggle or just EMTs struggles in general, a lot of people had no idea. I had no idea. And
no, I didn't. I didn't know until I read the article.
Yeah. It was an unknown sort of thing.
But now it's being talked about a lot. Now I've seen it been coming up a lot.
It is. There was
Do you take responsibility for that?
Yeah. Yes, of course. There was contract negotiations that were coming up, and that came up in the new year, and there's still sort of an arbitration back and forth. And I'm sure, at this point, it's all just sort of stalled for the for the time being. But the more noise that's made about it, hopefully, you know.
I mean, and
they'll figure out a way.
hopefully the people being on the front lines right now
Yeah.
will get people to be sort of demanding that they be treated a little more fairly. I mean, hopefully, you would think.
I hope so.
How do people read this article? Is it online? What do they search?
It is. It's on the struggles of a wife of an EMT, I believe, in the Daily News. I don't remember the date, of course, off the top of my head. It's also on my, it was public on my Facebook page.
We'll post it. We'll also post it in the show notes as well.
Oh, cool. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
take
great.
it from there and share. But it was in the Daily News online and in print. So.
Cool.
So how does it feel to be part of something that is mentioned as far back as Guys and Dolls?
Wait, what?
Yeah, the Daily News. That's in that show. I'll tell you what's in the Daily News. Article by a hairdresser about her husband who's an EMT, doesn't make enough money to do what he needs to do. That's what's in the Daily News. There you go.
You know that's what I was singing.
Of course.
As soon as I had that copy in hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
Well,
published writer.
Right. I mean, yeah. Right. Maybe we'll just change the name of the episode to The Published Writer.
The published writer with hair in her bra.
And how sad for everyone when they watch. They'll be real disappointed.
Well, they talked about their head shapes for an hour, and then they mentioned the article for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely post it on all the EMT union pages and be like, trust me. Trust me.
You want to watch, and then all my messages will be, "Oh, so you're still cutting hair? So you're still cutting hair?"
Do you get that? Do you get that question a lot?
Spawns or haircut? In this, personally, no. I've just had people sort of check up and hi, and we miss you, and I'm dying for you to do my hair, but I haven't had any real solid request of, can you please, can you come? No, I haven't.
Wow. Well, you're going to have a big uptick in business, I think.
When, you know what, I sort of say my prayers that this happening doesn't change our industry sort of permanently. And I don't, we will see how we're able to move forward.
Well, if enough people are doing it themselves and they're good at it.
I mean, John's open for business, apparently.
Yeah, I'll do it. Anybody want to come by? I'll just kind of give you the old straight razor.
I might have also a buzz cut before the end of this, so who knows?
Oh, well, I'm going to give her a buzz cut while she's asleep. Like a military dad.
He's just so supportive. Well, this was great.
I love spending my evening with you guys.
Yes, Nicole, I want to thank you for doing this. And I think you are an essential nobody,
Yes. An essential no. That's great. I'll take that title.
Well, you're exactly the kind of thing. And every once in a while, we get to say this to a guest that, you're the kind of thing that we were aiming for with this show. It's nice to have people who have a following and people who, are considered celebrities or whatever. But really, we did this because
better with a nobody.
Right. We wanted to have people who you see every day, you go to every day, and maybe you don't think about what it is that goes into what they do or what they do and how they feel about it. Everybody has to get up and go to work. And
that's right.
If you want to tell me about what you do, I think that's really interesting.
Well, now you know. How many things did you learn tonight?
So much.
I learned barbering is a verb.
I learned cow licks were from licking your head.
By a cow.
By a cow.
I learned that you don't have the hair of other women in your shower.
We learned that there's a special chemical used to close cuts that apparently only hairdressers use. Meanwhile, the doctors probably could use it.
Yeah, can the doctors use that?
Go speak to any doctor. They all know what a styptic is. Of course.
I've never heard that on ER or Grey's Anatomy. Quick, get the styptic. Never go for the styptic.
You know who uses styptics? EMTs and paramedics.
They do?
Yeah.
You and your husband have so much in common.
We'll call this episode The Styptic.
All right, I'm with it.
I love coming up with names for the episode. Just 8 different names as we go through.
We have a few so far.
Yeah. Well, Nicole, this has been really great.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for coming through. You're a true blue nobody.
I love it. And I can't wait to cut everybody's hair.
Yes, absolutely.
Yay.
Absolutely, we're going to do that. All right, let's get a round of applause going for Nicole.
I love you.
Yay, multiple claps.
You've been listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, a cool side production. hosted by John Panepinto and Frank Caiati, with contributors Matt Hunt, Joe Hagopian, and Tom Zaccheo, and engineered by me, Danielle Rosefisher. Find us online at nothing-podcast.com, and be sure to rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are distributed.